We were just watching the Arsenal game and doing some SBCs on the side, and we ended up doing a 91 plus player pick, and we got olise. Like, genuinely, that is probably the best Bundesliga TOTS that we could have packed, and we got it. We got olise. That's unbelievable. After struggling in the last weekend league, I think I finally found a formation. I've gone back to basics, and I finally found a formation that I think I'm enjoying, which is a weird thing to say on this game. So let's get into the formation. It's a 4-3-3 with a defensive mid, but I'm playing short passing, a high line, and I'll go through variations of this in a second. And I have the striker on false 9 build up. I think this is actually important because it allows the right winger and left winger who are on inside forward to actually overlap and get in behind. So Fowler actually comes short quite a bit, but she still pushes up because you can still trigger her run, and she'll do it normally just a little bit slower. But it does allow these wingers, which is crucial for attacking this formation, to actually cut inside, and you'll feel like they're actually occupying the middle spaces, which is quite nice. The two centre mids are on box to box, and I left them on balance. The reason for that is that on balance they stay closer to the middle, they don't go as wide, and I don't want them going as wide. I want to pack that middle a little bit more, which is why I've left them on balance. We have Vieira on holding. He's on holding because that's the one that I think works best. I think you could have him on roaming if you wanted to, but just bear in mind he's going to drift wide from time to time, and I want someone that's going to protect the middle. So holding, defend. And then the way that this formation plays is down to the wingbacks or fullbacks, depending what you want. This is where the crucial part comes in, because there's a fun variant, which for me is this, with wingbacks, and there is a slightly more serious variant, which I used to win a couple of tournaments. But this is the more fun variant, because you can see in the attack, the wingbacks actually push up, the left wingers and right wingers go inside, and then these box to box, they stay central, but they're just shooting up and down, doing everything. And the keeper, it's important to have him on sweeper keeper, especially with the wingbacks, because there might be some through balls that catch you out, but hopefully will not catch out the keeper. And then the more serious variant is actually putting these guys on fullback, and you can just have them on fullback defend. So basically not much changes, they just stay on fullback defend. It ends up being a much more common 4-3-3 with inside forwards, but fullback defend means you're not going to get caught out with those runs as often, and it is a bit nicer defensively. So when you're doing something a bit more serious, the fullback defend does help. And what I actually found as well, instead of short passing, you can go balanced and also leave the defensive style unbalanced as well. So that, with defensive fullbacks, can actually be quite nice, because you're still defensively solid. You have that keeper just in case anyone gets in behind. You're always going to concede finesse shots. But for me, where I struggled defensively, this actually ended up being quite solid. With the other variant where you have wingbacks, your hardest job is actually going to be making sure everyone stays in position. So you'll find that you're having to run back either with your wingers or with your centre mid a bit more often, or control your centre back to push him in line. Otherwise there is going to be a ball over the top, because for some reason, whether it's either Dante or Saliba, they're all like marking back and just hanging back for whatever reason, and you end up with this just one rogue defender who for some silly reason is nowhere near his defensive line and is playing everybody onside. So that's just something to bear in mind defensively. But in terms of how it plays, it's really, really nice. I'm enjoying this formation. You do have to concentrate because the wingbacks will allow a lot of opportunities to attack and score, but defensively you will have to lock in to make sure you push them back. I also packed Saliba, which I didn't record, I didn't mention. It was during the gauntlet, I think last week, because that was the Prem one, and I ended up packing him. I genuinely wasn't expecting it. That was completely random, a bit of hype around him. But for me, centre-backs aren't as exciting as forwards. Olise is far more exciting than packing one of the best defenders in the game. It just is. For me, someone like Dante is just as good as Saliba, if not maybe a little bit better, genuinely. But let's get into a game and show you how it plays in a game. So in this formation, one thing you're going to notice most is going to be the wing backs. And the centre mids are going to stay central making those runs. But look at Reece James, he's overlapping already, creating an extra option. But the difficulty is when you get countered, Reece James is still halfway up the pitch. So that's why it's going to be important, especially when defending, that you make sure you either get them back in position or you have somebody else covering. But for me, it's just nice to have the wide options. There's Reece James again, play it into the middle, and then it just creates an extra overload because he's not expecting that wide option. They're normally used to only having one winger and only having one of those wide options. So when a second one comes in, it just creates a really nice second or even third option, depending who you're using, to create a scoring chance. And that's why that wing-back role is just a bit more fun than having the usual full-back defend. But if you're playing someone who's really good at attacking, I think you're going to find that you're going to need to have them on full-back defend. And there's Kukurea out wide. Keeping the play central by being out wide, it means the centre mids don't have to go wide, so they can still create options in the middle. Option, trigger Fowler, which is going to drop in deep. You're going to have the extra option in the middle. Bang, goal. And that's Gittins coming inside. And there's the option with Goretzka. And again, should have scored, but it's just having those extra options coming in from the middle means you're always going to have something in front of goal. Vieira getting forward. So that was just quickly showing you how the team plays. So to just go over that again, for me anyway, the way I like to play it, to have a fun variant, you have the wing backs on balance because they stay slightly wider than in support. We already have box to box on balance, which means they're not going to go as wide, they're going to stay central. So the wing backs stay on the width. On support, they tend to go in a bit more, but on balance, I find they tend to come back a little bit more and also stay a little bit wider, which is what I want. In terms of roles on the defenders, it doesn't really matter. I like ball playing defender, but you can go defender, it's absolutely fine. I've tried both, doesn't make a difference. Roaming is an interesting one. You can also go balance, you can also go attack. This, for me, I like sometimes having an extra wide option. It means that these box-to-box centre mids can push up and push down, and they can have a bit of central space. But with Fowler coming in on build-up, it also means that there's some overlaps happening. It works quite nicely. So this is what I would call the more attacking version. And just to give you the more balanced, more cautious variant, you would have everything on balance, 50 for approach, 50 build-up style, or just balanced build-up style, and you would have these wing-backs on full-back and defend. So when you play Weekend League, which is what I'm going to be testing out primarily with this tactic, I'm going to see how I get on with the wing-backs, but what I'm probably going to notice is that I will have to have them on defend, because otherwise I just cannot defend. Against someone who knows how to attack, who knows how to take their chances, you are probably going to need fullback defend. But on the attack, if you just want to have some fun, stick them on wing back, stick them on balance. This is what I've been trying out for the past week or so, just trying to find a formation that I find fun, that at least gives me some runs and chances to score, because I've admitted that defensively I'm not the best. Standout player, by the way, this Clara, she's actually so good. She's got 94 pace and rapid as a centre mid. She's getting to absolutely everything. She's not the best defensively, only has intercept, but passing play styles on point, could do with a finesse, but pace is there. That's going to be the video. I hope you enjoy this formation. Try it out, let me know how you get on, and let me know if you prefer defensive wingbacks or if you prefer them slightly more attacking to give you more attacking options. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next time, have a good one.